Last summer, I hosted a backyard barbecue that ended in disaster. As the sun set, my cheap plastic solar lights died out one by one, leaving my guests stumbling in the pitch dark. It was embarrassing. Navigating the world of solar lighting is incredibly frustrating. Most are flimsy, dim, or barely last a single season. You waste time and money on duds that promise the sun but deliver a flicker. I finally decided to test the top contenders to find out which ones actually provide a lasting solution. Stick around, because the number one spot completely transformed my yard. 5. Gigalumi Solar Pathway Lights. When I first unboxed these, I was relatively pleased to see that they incorporate real glass and stainless steel instead of the usual cheap plastic you find at local hardware stores. I set up a pack of these along my front walkway, hoping the glass lenses would provide a premium feel and better clarity. The assembly was straightforward, basically just attaching the stake and pushing them into the soft dirt, which only took me about 10 minutes for the entire set. During the first few nights, the patterned light they cast on the ground was quite charming. They use an intricate glass design that projects a distinct starburst pattern, which adds a nice decorative touch to a plain sidewalk or driveway. The waterproof rating seemed to hold up well during a moderate rainstorm we had on the third day of my testing. The stainless steel top gives them a sleek, modern look during the day, meaning they aren't an eyesore when the sun is out, which is a major plus for your home's overall curb appeal. However, my testing quickly revealed some frustrating limitations that you need to be aware of before installing these. First, the brightness is incredibly underwhelming, acting more like a faint marker light rather than actually illuminating the pathway for safe walking. Second, the battery life is highly temperamental. Even after a full day of direct sunlight, they rarely lasted past midnight. If you have a cloudy afternoon, you can expect these to die out before you even finish watching an evening movie, leaving your yard just as dark as it started. 4. Jackyled Solar Step Lights. I wanted to see how these would handle the wooden stairs leading up to my back deck, which has always been a notorious tripping hazard in the dark. Right out of the box, these have a very different form factor, designed to sit flush against a vertical surface. Installation required a bit more effort than a simple ground stake, as I had to measure and screw them directly into my deck stairs. But the process was still manageable for a quick weekend project. The main selling point here is the RGB color changing feature, which I tested out during a casual evening gathering on the patio. You have the option to set them to a standard warm white, or let them cycle through various colors, or even lock them onto a specific hue to match a holiday or party theme. When set to warm white, they do a decent job of highlighting the edge of the steps, and the hard plastic casing feels reasonably durable against accidental kicks or rough weather exposure. But as I spent more time with them, the cracks in the design became painfully obvious. The color-changing mode, while fun on paper, looks incredibly cheap in person, projecting a harsh neon glare that feels more like a tacky nightclub than a relaxing backyard oasis. Furthermore, the button to switch between modes is awkwardly placed on the back, meaning once you screw them into your stairs, changing the color requires you to physically unscrew the entire unit from the wood, which is a massive oversight in user-friendly design. 3. Linkind Solar Landscape Spotlights. I decided to test these by placing them at the base of a large oak tree and along a brick retaining wall in my backyard. Immediately, the rugged, thick ABS plastic construction gave me confidence that these could survive harsh weather, rogue lawnmowers, and whatever else my yard could throw at them. They feature a much larger solar panel than the previous entries, which immediately hinted at better energy absorption and longer-lasting nighttime performance. What I really appreciate about the Linkind spotlights is their sheer versatility and ease of adjustment. Both the solar panel and the light head are independently adjustable, meaning I could perfectly angle the panel toward the southern sky for maximum sun exposure while aiming the light exactly where I wanted it on the tree trunk. They offer 2 brightness modes, and I found that even the lower setting provided a substantial, focused beam of light that beautifully highlighted the textures of the bark and leaves, completely changing the nighttime dynamic of my yard. During my testing, the reliability of these lights was incredibly impressive. Even on days with partial cloud cover, the massive solar panels managed to juice up the batteries enough to keep the low light mode running from dusk until just before dawn. The waterproof seal on these units is robust. They survived several heavy downpours and even a blast from my garden hose without any moisture building up inside the lens, which is a common death sentence for cheaper solar light models. The Linkind spotlights confidently claim the number 3 spot because they are the first lights on this list that actually do exactly what they promise without any major caveats. 2. InnoGear Solar Landscape Spotlights. I set these up right alongside the Linkind models to get a direct comparison, using them to light up the front facade of my house and a large decorative fountain. Right away, the InnoGear models presented a slightly sleeker, more streamlined profile that blended into the mulch and landscaping much better during the day, avoiding that bulky, industrial look that some heavy-duty solar lights suffer from. The optical design of the InnoGear spotlights is truly where they shine above the competition. They utilize a specialized reflector casing around the LEDs that tightens the beam, throwing a remarkably crisp and incredibly bright column of light perfectly onto my house's siding. It completely eliminated the washed-out, scattered light effect I've seen with lesser models. You can easily toggle between a high and low mode, and I was genuinely shocked by how far the high beam reached, easily illuminating the second-story eaves of my home with a clean, cool white glow. Battery management and efficiency are phenomenal on these specific units. Thanks to the high-conversion monocrystalline solar panels, these lights charged incredibly fast. In my practical tests, the InnoGear lights consistently outlasted every other spotlight I tried. When left on the lower brightness setting, they routinely stayed illuminated through the entire night, greeting me with a soft glow when I woke up before sunrise, completely unaffected by the freezing overnight temperatures or early morning frost. So why are they only number 2? Simply put, while they are the undisputed kings of directional spotlighting, spotlights don't solve every landscaping need, particularly the ambient, welcoming glow needed along a long driveway or walking path. 1. Beau Jardin Solar Pathway Lights. Remember that dark, embarrassing barbecue I mentioned earlier? These were the lights that completely redeemed my backyard. When you pull these out of the box, the sheer weight of them tells you everything you need to know. These are crafted from heavy-duty, rust-proof stainless steel and incredibly thick, substantial glass. There is absolutely zero cheap plastic here. They feel like expensive, hardwired luxury fixtures that just happen to be solar-powered. I lined my main entrance walkway and the perimeter of my patio with these, and the installation was a breeze thanks to the reinforced ABS ground spikes that didn't snap or bend when pushed into firm soil. The real magic, however, happens the second the sun goes down. The Beau Jardin lights emit an absolutely stunning, brilliant warm light that refracts beautifully through the diamond-patterned glass. It doesn't just glow, it casts a wide, luxurious, and vivid starburst pattern across the grass and concrete, instantly elevating the entire look of my property. Beyond just looking spectacular, their functional performance is completely unmatched. These lights are exceptionally bright, providing genuine safety and crystal clear visibility for anyone walking up to my house, entirely solving the navigation issues caused by lesser lights. Powered by high-capacity batteries and highly efficient solar tops, these lights reliably stay on from dusk until dawn, even during the shorter days of autumn. I've watched them power through torrential rain, high winds, and snow without dimming, rusting, or failing once. The Beau Jardin solar pathway lights are the undisputed winners because they masterfully combine high-end aesthetic beauty with rugged, flawless functionality. They don't just act as dim markers, they are powerful light sources that dramatically enhance your home's curb appeal while providing essential pathway safety.